today because I promised to give you the first key of the 7 keys I shared last week on my video, a 20-minute video on how to kind of get through this difficult time, or any difficult time really. And I'm going to bring only 7 of the keys right now. They're actually based on the chakra system. Is really, really important because it's part of your holistic health, which is what also I'm going to talk about today. And last week, I covered very briefly all the 7 keys that I think will help us through this time. But anytime you find yourself up against it or really needing to harmonize and rebalance your body, this is really quite where you need to really concentrate on. Okay, I am going to screen share, and I'm going to show you some things here. Okay, let me just see if I can get it up for you. Oh, shoot. It's asking me. Okay, record. Sorry. Your default mic concentration. Okay. Right. Oh, I apologize. Okay, but I'm going to carry on recording and not stop it here. Okay. One of the things that's really helpful to do with the first key is to actually ground yourself. All right. I am going to look at also where I can share. This is what I really wanted to bring up. Why is this all here? Let me see. Okay. I'm quite new to this, but I think if I try and perfect it, I'm never going to get recording. So these are the 7 keys really. They're based on the chakra system. I call them life energy centers. It's really important that there are energy centers that really help to keep us thriving, keep us in harmony, keep us feeling alive, okay? It's when we have certain blocks or imbalances in any of these areas that we tend to sort of start feeling really blah, or get sick, or get psychological issues or physical issues particularly. Okay, I'm particularly looking at the first key here, which is known as the root chakra. It's very important, okay? And I always refer to the chakra system or the life energy system as something like the guitar. Okay, the guitar is really important that, you know, you need to have all 7 strings in tune to be able to get a really good tune out of yourself and out of your life. And the same with the chakras, okay? Now, they are derived from the actualise, and they're Sanskrit, and they're very yogic based, but I really, really can't emphasize enough the absolute importance of us taking heed of these gateways or keys, whatever you want to call them. They are keys to your potential, they're keys to your happiness. And a lot of the times, the reason we're not feeling that we're thriving in life, or we've got ailments, or we've got weight gain, or we've got heart issues, or we've got cancer, or so many other things that are actually correlated to the mind-body connection, is related to the imbalances of the chakras, and they can make a huge difference. I don't want to go into great detail today because the purpose of these talks are not about going into detail, but to give you the keys, like I said, to actually, to be able to work with the times that we're in. Now, with the COVID virus and anything that is actually very disturbing, it could be actually a divorce or a sudden partner leaving, or it could be us as well when we move into a new country or new beginnings. Anything that destabilizes us will naturally affect the root chakra, okay? Now, if your root chakra is quite weak already, that is just also going to have a huge effect on yourself. Okay, I'm just going to now stop the share and come back here. So it's really important that, you know, and sometimes we don't even realize why something will have a huge impact on us. And it could be something that could have happened to you as a child as well, around a newborn, you know, the first few years, months of your birth, up to about first or second year. Again, I'm not going to talk about that too much, but there's a huge correlation between the chakra healing and your inner child, which could also make a huge difference, because what the energy centers do, in short, is that they tend to hold on to energy, belief systems, any shock, any emotion, and anything like that, and it tends to stay static or stagnant in the body. And the more you consciously work with the chakras, the more you can actually really release. Now, practices like yoga are absolutely fundamentally brilliant for the chakras as well. So you don't really have to know about the chakra system to get some benefit. So this is why it also helps a lot of people who suffer from depression. You know, it's a known fact that anybody who in prisons, or anybody who's actually got a mental health issue, by regular practice of yoga, you will actually get alleviated from these conditions and feel a lot better. Okay, so coming back to the root chakra again, one of the keys I mentioned last week was to do with holistic health. Now, with holistic health, it is exactly that. You've got to look at the mind, body, and the spirit. Okay, these are the, in Western medicine, the doctor tends to look at the actual symptom, not the cause, but the symptom or the byproduct of an infection. Okay, whereas holistically, when you look at things much more holistically, we tend to recognize that there are other things that have contributed to the holistic whole, the unified whole. Now, as a personal trainer from way back when, I've always believed in this. And when I work with clients, and all the number of clients I worked with, whether it was a weight gain issue or a psychological issue, the body actually spoke and told me a lot. It told me a lot from their posturing. It told me about how their feet were structured. It told me I was able to read a person from how they were leaning forwards or backwards, or any particular fat gain that was around the hips or the belly or wherever it was very telling as to what was really going on in their lives. And since then, and personally as well, through my own personal journey, I have blended and synergistically work with the chakras because I really find them fundamentally powerful for transformational work and really, really getting into your holistic, true self. Okay, so you won't be sort of following somebody else's formula about how to live, how to sort of eat well or anything like that. This is really about your body, your energy, and this is what's brilliant about it, because it works with you on your energetic field. Okay, your energy centers and your energy. So the holistic health is very much now also accepted, and people are aware of it. And the three main key areas would be mind, body, and soul. And there are very much three areas that I concentrate on. But there are two other aspects I'd also like to bring in, and that would be I've always thought that what's important is that despite the fact there's lots of cross-culturing right now as well, and it has been for the last few years, someone like me, I'm Syrian. That's my origin. So my parents come from the Middle East, but I was born in Japan and I was raised there for the first 12 years of my life, and then I came to the UK. All right, so I really believe that my origins, my Syrian origins and my blood has a lot to do also with my health and my well-being. Okay, so despite the fact that I live here in London, and one good thing about living here in London, I can actually buy foods that are very available to me, that are very close to my native origin. And this is one thing I really want to bring in as well, to have complete holistic health or health. It is really important, especially at times like this with the COVID virus or anything that's really kind of troublesome. It is really nice to go back, and very helpful and very nutritionally of value, to eat foods from your genetic culture. Okay, so if you're Caribbean, you might want to eat foods, or if you come from a certain, it's very unusual for people really to abandon their food of origin. Okay, and the root chakra also, interesting, is very tied to your family, okay, your tribe, your lineage. So we tend to lean towards what is naturally closely associated with us. So it's very rare, I would have to say, that people won't eat their own native food. But if you're one of those people that actually sort of from a generation you weren't born in the country of your origin, it could be the second generation, you might find that somehow it's got watered down and there's not much home cooking of that nature. But I really recommend that at times of ungrounding, instability, that you really eat foods from your childhood, things that you really like, or foods that are really close to your ingredients from your own land, especially as well, I have to add, on the land that you're in. So here we are in the UK, you would eat fruit and vegetables and foods from the UK. If you're in the States or in the Philippines or Indonesia, again, eat fruits that are natural to you over there. Okay, that's very helpful to keep you grounded. The root chakra very much is also about stability and grounding. And this is something we all need right now. We've kind of, again, coming back to the COVID as a reference point, there has been, I think we're now at least 2 to 3 weeks into it, depending on what country you're in. But the panic is actually over, although people are still living very much in fear and have a sense of over concern, really. Now, that would also can stem, like I said, from some kind of fear-based belief, or something could have happened to you as a child that would have stirred up this panic in you. So the people who are really kind of suffering chronically, you really need to be able to ground yourself. This goes across the board. but there are chronic symptoms and there are normal natural symptoms of fear or concern. Okay, this what I'm offering you are toolkits for you to be able to really ground yourself. I've brought some, again, I'm going to screen share here. I brought some images up. Oh, oh, oh. Why is that not up here? I'm not quite sure why that is. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. Very annoying. Okay, let me share my screen. Now, I am going to try and close this and this one. Good. Okay, so here we have, if I continue to screen share now, this standing posture. I really apologize for the technical mess, but like I said, I'm kind of learning as I go along, so you're going to have to bear with me. So this is the most profound posture that you can actually really have to ground you. Okay, it's a standing posture. It is a very basic and a natural, one of the rudimentary standing postures, and we all stand, so it's really important. But what's important is here is you keep your feet very connected to the earth. I don't know if you've got an image, you can see the image on my back screen here, but it's of nature. So that's the other thing you really need to go out at this time is your environment. I would recommend your environment particularly to be out in nature right now as much as you can. And you really benefit by going outdoors and spending several minutes doing some kind of body work, okay? Things like yoga, cycling, walking, running are all profoundly brilliant. Now, I know a lot of people started taking that up as well, and I'm sure that you feel much better, okay? These exercises obviously are going to raise your endorphins and they're going to make you mentally feel better, but in terms of holistic practice, okay, you don't normally need to get your cardio level up to actually benefit from feeling grounded. You could just be standing and taking a few deep breaths in, all the way through your feet, up through the legs, and all the way up into the torso, and all the way up to your chest, through the nostrils, of course, and then you can exhale deeply. And as you inhale and exhale, will help to release all the tension, all the concerns, and it's a very good practice. You can mentally visualize as well that you are sort of inhaling in through your nose, and as you exhale, you're releasing the breath all the way from the mouth down into the feet, through the feet and into Mother Earth as well. So you can actually do this few cyclical a breath work. Okay, you'd want to be standing there for a few minutes, in breath and out breath. Keep your arms to the sides of the body, relax the arms, lift your chest, but don't push it out. You want to be in contact with your feet to the earth, and then from your ankle upwards, you want to be charging up your legs all the way up, like so, bringing a charge to your feet into your hips. Stay connected to your legs, press the feet down, and take the breath even further up, all the way up. Okay, they're simple exercises, but actually doing them really well and consciously can make a huge difference. Okay, I think we live also in a very rushed society, rushed times. Everything is like a 7-minute workout and 2 minutes this and speed dating that. And, we've lost all sense of grounding, so it's not surprising that a lot of us or a lot of people are feeling ungrounded, and particularly with all the fear that's going around. And we have a lot of things going on in our mind. We're all up in the head all the time. So it is really important to actually stop being in the head and bring yourself right back into your body and right back down into your feet. Okay, then here we are with the second picture. So here you, after standing still, you can actually raise your arms up towards the sky. You can do this indoors, of course, as well, but something about sky's the limit when you're outside in nature. So you've got your feet here connected, really earthed. Make sure your feet are nicely stretched in your, if you can be bare feet, all the better still. But if you're in your trainers or even your shoes, make sure you've got enough space that your toes feel relaxed and you're not clutching. Okay, people tend to clutch. Their feet tend to get into like claw-like. Okay, our feet is the foundation and the base of everything. Okay, this is almost a mirror of the root chakra. Very important. So, very important that you're very rooted in your feet or pressing down through your feet. But in any case, here you're actually going to move up the breath into your body and you raise your arms on your in-breath, and you can hold it there. Let the sun stream, energy stream through your fingertips, and on the out-breath, you can draw the arms down. You can do a few cycles. That's your in-breath. You take your arms up. And on the exhale, you just lower the arms again. And all this is just very grounding and really activating and energizing the body. You know, you don't have to do a huge class of yoga to really get the best out of very simple exercises. Okay, and a few breaths in and then out. All right, so you just repeat that as much as you feel that your arms want to do that. Work on your level. So if you're totally deconditioned, do it. So, you know, because sometimes people find that people, when they've not used their arms a lot, find the shoulder aches there. Okay, but you extend the arm nice and wide all the way up and then coming back down. Okay, you can improvise as well. Trust your body. You can take the arms up, and you might just want to bring it up mid-level here and leave them there before you bring them back down. Okay, but the idea is that you just stay connected to your body, stay connected to your breath, and particularly stay connected to your feet and your legs. Last but not least, I hope I'm not giving you too much here. It's not really that hard. I don't know what that is. Cancel. Okay. So this is the other share, and I hope I'm okay with the sharing here. Let me just check. Okay, great. All right. So this is the other share. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be there, so I'm just going to get these down for now. So this is the other one. So having had your arms up in the sky, so I might just bring that one back up. Okay, and then we move this one. You actually want to be able to then bend over. Okay, you can extend your body out and just extend at the hip. Notice that you just roll down. Okay, the problem with this sometimes people do is when you have rounded shoulders, you tend to sort of bring or hunch your shoulders up. Okay, and yeah, I'm not going to get too complicated about this right now, but the most important is the reason this posture is really good for this time is it allows you to not only flow and be flexible with life, because the body reflects, you know, yoga helps to reflect certain how can I put it, energy, if you like. So bending forward, this is a nice standing posture, nice strong posture standing, but you're bending forward, which also informs the body and the mind that I am willing to bend and be flexible in life. Okay, people who are very rigid, and you see them walking like this, and they're you know, their chin up and very austere and whatever, they're probably very rigid people, and you know, and their physicality looks very rigid, and they probably are very straight, very rigid, all that. Okay, bending down from the body really helps us to keep our flexible mind. Body's flexible as well as the mind. Also, what's nice about this posture, when you arrive at the bottom, think about all your mental debris being released from the top of the head into the earth. Okay, so we could be thinking fear, we could be worrying about so-and-so, or we've got so many things going on in our minds. As you breathe out, when you're in this folding position, just let yourself release with your breath and even with a sigh. Okay, so you in-breath up with your arms up. And on the exhale, you just keep on lowering yourself down using the exhale as you go downward. And as you go downward, you take an in-breath, and you can roll up the spine vertebrae by vertebrae, or you can come up. But for those who've got not very flexible, you want to make sure that you bend your knees. All right, it's really important that you bend your knees and you just roll up. So you just roll up as if you're just unrolling and uncurling your spine to come up to a stand. I hope this is quite clear. Okay, this you can look it up on YouTube. I'm sorry if this is very simple. I will possibly even take some videos eventually of me doing body work outdoors. But there's a lot, you know, there's cameras to be taken out, lots of things. And I just really wanted to put this holistic health key element into the space. Now, when I say also holistically, you know, so your body work's really important. Now, the other thing that's really important is, I'm going to stop sharing now, is your state of mind. Okay, very important that you actually really think about what you're feeding in your mind. So, you know, try and avoid very noisy platforms like Facebook. I have a problem with that. You know, Facebook has a place, but it's very noisy. There's a lot of people with opinions. There's a lot of people with, you know, conspiracy theories and news and stuff. So, you know, try and cut back on the noise. If you live also in a noisy environment, see if you can actually sort of create a space where it's a bit more quiet and much more grounded. Okay, it's a really good thing even as a family, which I'll talk about in another vlog, because like I said, the root chakra is to do with family. but maybe you can sit and actually sit in a circle, or hold hands, or be in a space where you can actually just sit in a little circle. So if there's a unit of 3 or 4 of you, and obviously the more, fine. Or even if there's 2 of you, you know, as a couple, or 3 of you with a child, you know, sit and then maybe just hold hands and just close your eyes, and connect to your body, and connect to your breath, and just spend a few moments. Take it in turns to count 1 cycle of breath, an in breath and an out breath being 1 breath. And then somebody else counts, and then you're just sitting there in your own space, you know, communing with each other and connecting with each other to bring some sense of peace and sense of kind of unity and wholeness. All right, is there anything else I really want to add to this? So that's the kind of physical activity you can be really doing. So go outside, do some walking regularly. Yoga would be good, or these 3 basic exercises I just showed you. You can be doing, I talked about the food, but the genetic food, that's really important, you know, so bring anything like that, particularly to do with, I feel, your roots, okay, currently, because we're in the root chakra, to do with your family lineage, or, you know, maybe some stories from your family would also really help, but that could be maybe for the next one, which is to do with inspiration, which I'll talk about on another day. Now, the other thing that's really important is you need to keep yourself emotionally strong, okay, on a spiritual level through the root chakra, okay? So you might want to actually affirm that I am now feeling strong and my foundations are firm, or I have the safety, security, and stability in my life, okay? You may not feel it, but the important thing is you affirm that, okay? There's I take responsibility for my own happiness, or for my own health, okay? That's actually the wrong one. All right, another one that I might recommend is I now take responsibility for where I am now, and I find myself in life as I move forwards, okay? The thing is, none of us had any control of what's happening. We're all being on a lockdown, we're all being at home, but we can still take the responsibility, or making the choice our own as to how we spend that time and our attitude around it. So that's really important. Okay, another one I might share with you here is I get in touch with and trust my innate wisdom, which tells me that I will be provided with all I need. Now, I know there's a lot of people also in the fear consciousness, or we think that we don't have enough, or we need more, and all that, but actually we don't. You know, actually see if you can actually survive with what you've got. You know, you really improvise with the food that you've got, and see if you can actually really create wholesome meals, you know, with what you have, rather than keep going out to the shops. I know it's going out to the shops is a bit tricky these days, but I also know that there's been a lot of wastage of food as well, according to the local news here. And I'm not surprised. And I think what people have done is gone out and bought a lot of stuff, and then they weren't able to use it all. Okay, but there are lots of ways you can use food and really be creative with it. So, you know, again, I'm not going to cover this too much, but one thing I do want to say about the food as well, that's really important when it comes to the root chakra, which was the first image I brought up, and I might share my screen again. See if I can bring that. Sorry. Is this, let's go out from here. I want to bring this up. Okay, can I open this? Okay. Is this one. Okay, I hope you can see it. It's the root chakra. So anything to do with red. All right, so that's strawberries. Here's a picture of a tomato. All right, so red vegetables are really helpful. All right, there's lots and lots of red. Strawberries are one, berries, raspberries, you know, go to the market, you know, sweet potatoes, red potatoes are really good. But actually, because it's a very grounding chakra, what's really also helped to keep you rooted is eating things like beans, okay, or root vegetables, parsnips, let me think, mooli, you know, that's daikon, potatoes, cabbage, horseradish, carrots, you know, beetroot, particularly because that's always very red as well, radishes, you know, anything that's rooted, onions are particularly good at this time as well. So you really want to make sure that you eat foods of the color red, or anything that you know are related to being grounded. So I'd say definitely grains can be quite grounding, not as grounding as the more soil-based, you know, the ones that actually grow out of the soil immediately. But anything red or anything that's earth-based foods will be really good for you. Anything else, you can do some dancing to some really rhythmic deep bass beats as well, so that's very good. And I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. Another thing you can do is give them each other massages, anything to do with touch and body work is really good at this time. So again, you know, you can take turns doing your feet, particularly a bit of improvised reflexology is a really good thing that you can be doing. And all these things are to do with holistic health. So I think I'm going to stop here and just know that actually holistic health is really important. It's key to our wellness. Okay, it's not only a very root chakra principle or key, but it's actually very much to do with all of how we approach life. And holistic wellness is very much something that we all need to be living out of and considering. Okay, it's the state of your mind, state of your emotions, state of your physical body, your environment as well. And I didn't cover the environment so much because I do believe the root chakra, probably environment most suited for that would be the outdoors. But I could also bring it indoors to your home. Now make sure that you feel energetically grounded at home. Okay, if there's too much mess or a lot of clutter around you, that also tends to not help one be grounded. So go around the house, see if there are any drawers, any your kitchen cupboards or anything like that. If they're in a bit of a mess or disorganized, I suggest that you spend this downtime, this time right now in lockdown, to really kind of get practicing things that can really get you ready, get you feeling strong and feeling alive within the confinements and within the restrictions that we're all living, because really that's just out in the periphery. I'm not saying that, you know, it's about being positive all the time and being strong all the time, because I also don't believe in that. I think it's about honoring your feelings as well and being really grounded in your emotions too. But it does help to get things grounded and stabilized, okay, and bring some stability into your life. So I'm going to end here, and I really hope that a lot of this has had some benefit to you. I'll be talking about the second key in the next video, and that will be on creativity as well as inspiration. Okay, they're the key kind of words that we'll be talking about, and I'll be also offering you 2 or 3 postures on the yoga that you can practice that will be beneficial. And just to give you a bit heads up, the color there is orange. Again, if I'm not there, it's on the next one. So we will be looking at that. But I'm just going to wish you well, lots of love, keep safe, and do these practices daily, okay, because we're going to add to it. Okay, it's very important that we add. We're just going to add, I seem to have lost the camera, I don't know where that is. We are going to, yeah, I seem to have lost myself, so I have no idea where I am on this whole thing. But in the event it's still filming me with me on the screen, it's very much to do with, yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. But anyway, I wish you well, all the best, and I will see you next time on the second key. Lots of love and be safe. Bye for now. Oh, so I seem to have come back. So here I am. Bye for now. I am still getting used to all these buttons and stuff, but there you go. I guess we've got to start somewhere. And here I am offering you my tidbit knowledge on holistic health and wellness. Thanks for now. And my name is Rafa, by the way, and I'm a life guide, life trainer, and multidimensional coach. So I will see you again. And if you want to check me out on YouTube, I've got a channel there as well, and you can find chakra videos and problems that I answer in relationships, all to do with your centered self and your self-referenced life. Thanks. I'll speak to you later. Bye.